For a Weirling when you're transferring a Weirling, be sure and choose the Weirling first. See, who do you want to transfer? Pick the Weirling first, and then you're going to pick an empty spot. Don't pick the empty spot first, because then it won't let you pick a Weirling, because it thinks you're transferring Dragonriders around. There are some restrictions. You cannot transfer a wing. You cannot transfer a Wing Rider within the same wing. See, here's character 7, and now character 6. Doesn't work. Transfer results in no change. Ring Rider to Ring Rider in the same wing doesn't count. It doesn't make any difference. But you can transfer. See, here's Kafog. He's my wing second. I'm gonna transfer. How about Gaha? I'm gonna transfer Gaha, my wing second. Oh my gosh! I'm gonna transfer Kafog, my wing second, with Pavev, the wing second of wing 2. So see, they're transferred, and now when you do see, here's Pavev, and here's Kafog. When you transfer someone from wing to wing, even though they keep the same position, they're both Wing Riders. Let's say you transfer Wing Rider from wing 1, and you swap him with Wing Rider in wing 0. Their experience is going to drop because they're in a different wing. If you promote someone, their experience is going to drop because they're in a harder position. You can actually transfer a Wing Rider to Wing Leader position, skipping over the wing second. You can actually transfer a Wing Leader to Wing Rider in another wing. You can see, that's a demotion. When you demote somebody, their experience goes up, the morale goes down. If you promote someone, their experience goes down, but their morale goes up. When you transfer a Weirling, starting in version 2X, you cannot transfer someone who has less than training level of 50. In 1X, you can transfer anybody you want. But their experience is going to go down. A Weirling's always transferring with very little experience. In 2X, it's never below a 4. Their experience level will never be below 4. But the higher the training level, the more experience they're going to carry over. But it can be pretty low. In 1X, it could be all the way down to 0. But in 2X, it's never below 4. The higher the training level, the more experience they'll carry over. But for Weirlings, you can't transfer them to rank status. You cannot make a Weirling a wing second right out the gate. You can't make them a wing leader straight away. They've got to be a Wing Rider. And then if you want to promote them into the rank status, sure, go ahead. They're not going to have any experience, but you can do that. Maybe you want to do that if he's the only bronze available. I can't imagine why you'd ever want to promote a Weirling, because they're going to have zero experience. So for 2X, there is the Weir to Weir transfer. This means that you are asking another Weir to send Dragon Riders over to your Weir, and you do this to augment your forces. Let's say probably because you don't have any Weirlings to pull from, or they're too low of experience, you're not allowed to transfer them. Remember, 2X, you can't promote a Weirling to a Rider status, and this Weir to Weir is only available in 2X. You click on that, and then it'll ask you what Weir do you want to transfer them from. Who do you want to make the request to? So let's choose Fort Weir. Now you're allowed to choose this select number of Dragon Riders you're trying to transfer over. You can choose between 0 and 5. Because we don't have any holes in our wings, we don't have any available slots to transfer over. You can only transfer Dragon Riders into Wing Riders. You can't transfer them into wing seconds or wing leader positions. And if you have holes in your wings, you don't have any say as to where those Dragon Riders will be placed. They'll be placed at random. Actually, they'll be placed in order. So if you have a hole in slot 7 and slot 14 and slot 21, and you choose to transfer 2 Dragon Riders, they'll go into slot 7 and slot 14. It's not random. It just goes right. It goes right down the line. So because we have no slots available, we're going to choose 0. Now, you have to be careful with doing Weir to Weir transfers, because there is a pretty hefty penalty for doing that. The opinion of all the Weir leaders, this includes your senior Weir women, will drop corresponding to how many Dragon Riders you ask transfer over. So if you ask for 1 Dragon Rider to be sent over, their opinion can drop 1 point. If you ask for 5, their opinion can drop 5 points. That's a lot of points. There's 7, 8. That's a total of 50 points you can lose by transferring 5 Dragon Riders over. So this is kind of a command you don't really want to use. Pull from your Weirling ranks first. But just because their opinion can drop doesn't mean it will, but the potential is there. So this is kind of a command you don't really want to use too often, if at all. But it is there in 2x. If you have 1x, weird-to-weird transfers are not available. So go get 2x. Assign Dragon Rider. This is a big one. This is where you give individual assignments to your Dragon Riders. Regular duty is, remember going back to the character profile, it said active. That's what that is. Regular duty, active. They're not doing anything special. We're second. This is you assign to Dragon Rider. This is how you change the opinion of your weir women, not just your senior women, all your women, all 3 of your women. You don't negotiate with them. You assign wing seconds. What the manual says is they help the weir women with their duties, and this is how you change their opinion of you. The more weir seconds that you assign, the better they'll think of the higher opinion the weir women will have about you. Conversely, if you don't assign any, their opinion of you is going to drop. Weir seconds, this will affect their fatigue and morale. So you need to keep an eye on who you have as a weir second. Check their fatigue and morale. If it starts getting a little low, take them off that duty. Give it to somebody else. The next command is Watch Rider. What this does is this sets somebody out to watch for thread. The more Watch Riders you have, the more chance that your weir is going to be prepared for thread. If your weir is unprepared for thread, your Dragon Riders are going to have a more difficult time catching thread, and the more chance that thread will be grounded. So you want your weir to be prepared. So assign some Watch Riders. 5 seems to be okay. I generally put 10 out, 7 to 10 or something like that. I think 10's a little overkill. That's just what I do. But you can do. I've also done it with 7 and didn't really have that much of a problem. But you really don't want to be unprepared for threadfall. So I think more is better. But that is going to affect their fatigue. So Watch Riders will see their fatigue go down. Weirling Master, those are the trainers of the Weirlings. The training level of the Weirlings will go up very slowly on their own. But if you assign Weirling Masters, the training level is going to go up much faster. Believe me, in Threadfall, you're going to want your Weirlings trained as quickly as possible because you're just going to get devastated with rider deaths during Threadfall. So keep your Weirlings ready. In version 2X, you also want to have your Weirlings available to replace Dragon Riders that are transferred out of your weir. I'll talk about that event in a little bit. But your Weirlings are going to play an important role, so keep them trained. I generally put about 3 to 5 Weirling Masters. That seems to keep the training level going. But that will affect the morale and fatigue of those who are assigned as Weirling Master. On search, when one of your Queen Dragons lays a clutch, you're going to send Dragon Riders out on search for candidates to bring back to the weir. Hatching is its own little thing in the game, so I will talk more about the hatching, but let me just say that remember, brown dragons bring candidates in at twice the amount that the other colors do, but searching affects their fatigue. So basically, when a clutch is laid, send a bunch of people on search, and then as soon as the hatching is over, take them off search. There's no reason to have somebody on search when there's not a clutch of eggs on the ground. Off duty, this is where you're telling a Dragon Rider, just take the day off. That will improve their fatigue. Oh no, I take that back. Off duty will improve their morale, but it will affect their fatigue and I believe their experience. Yeah, experience. It will also affect their experience. So now we're talking about the commands that improve one attribute but will affect the other attributes. So there's always kind of a give and take when it comes to working on the attributes of your Dragon Rider. So off duty, that will improve the morale, but it will depress their fatigue and experience. And also, I think, no. Yeah, Yeah, actually, it will affect their injury every once in a while. It's just a small little injury, so their health could go down. It's just a little bit. It's not terribly often, so I wouldn't really worry about that. It's more about their fatigue and experience. You really don't want to. You don't want low fatigue and experience during a pass. So just let the morale go. Don't ever give somebody off duty during a pass. That's kind of stupid. Unless you really need to work on Weir Craftsman morale in order to get them to do their job right. Generally, you should have other wings that you can pull on. There's no reason to give somebody off duty during a pass, but off duty is going to be very effective during an interval. Restrict to Weir, capital W. This is where you order somebody who's low on fatigue to just stay in the Weir and relax. So their fatigue, that will improve their fatigue, but it will affect the morale and experience. Remember, now we're talking give and takes. Extra training. If somebody's low on experience, give them extra training, but that's going to affect their fatigue. So apparently it doesn't affect their morale, just their fatigue. So give them extra training, their fatigue's going to go down, but their experience is going to go up. And remember your threadfall formula. Experience is better than fatigue. So if you have a choice to make, improve their experience and worry about their fatigue later. Remember, you always have your Weir herder to work on their fatigue. So if you got a master herder working in your Weir with a high morale, yeah, go ahead and give them extra training, because more than likely that's going to make up for it. Restrict to Weir, little w, that means confining them to their room. This guy is sick, injured, he has low health, and he's near death. Stay in his Weir. This will diminish his morale and fatigue and experience, but this guy is dying, so this is more important. He won't be counted in the Dragon Wing profile. He can't take part in negotiations or Weircraft duties. So basically, if you got a wing with somebody who has been weird, don't use them for anything, because they're just going to screw you up. But what wearing a Dragonrider does is it will improve the odds of him not dying. I don't know what the odds are. If somebody's going to die, he's got a better chance of not dying if he's weird. That's the way the game is arranged. So, but I don't know how much it affects it. But there is definitely an improved chance that he's not going to die. So, anybody who is below, anybody whose health is 3 or below, is in danger of just dying. So if they're 3 or below, wear them. Just wear them. Don't waste any time. Ground dragon, that's the same thing as wearing a Dragonrider, except this is for a sick dragon or an injured dragon. If their health is too low, remember 3 or below, and they're in danger of dying, ground them, and you increase the chances of them not dying. But remember, this will affect a rider's morale and experience. Not their fatigue, though. If you wear a Dragonrider, it can affect their fatigue as well, but if you ground a dragon, that doesn't affect their fatigue. Command 10, return a dragon to active duty. So if it's grounded, use Command 10 to return them to active duty. The wing profile, remember Command 2, this gave you a Dragon Wing set. This is all your wings. The wing profile, this is a quick look at a single wing. So it's the exact same thing, except this is just a single wing. This is a very useful command. The asterisk means that this guy is a bronze Dragonrider. The plus means this guy is a brown Dragonrider. And unfortunately, there's no symbol for blue or green. You're just kind of on your own to try and look that up yourself. It'd be nice if there was a little symbol, but I guess they thought that was a little too easy. So here's the morale, fatigue, experience, health, dragon health, and this is their status. This status corresponds to these numbers right here. If he's